see these brown spots? That's early blight. And you definitely want to stop this in its tracks before it spreads to your entire garden. We are fighting early blight in our garden this year, and it is such a bummer because I really did not want to have to deal with this year. But we do have blight on our potato plants in both our in-ground garden and in a raised bed of potato plants that we're growing. Today I'm going to talk about how we got blight in our garden, what was the cause, what we're doing to prevent it, what you can do to prevent blight that's growing on your plants, hopefully you don't have it, and what you can do to prevent it from happening at all. So stick around, watch these preventative measures, and I really hope you're not going to have to battle this in your season, in your garden this year. So what is blight? Blight is a fungus that's caused by water hitting the dirt underneath your plant and that dirt being infected and splashing up and hitting the bottom leaves of your plant. And that's what starts the fungus spores and spreads through the plant. In our garden, we are fighting early blight right now, and that is affecting the leaves of our plant and can affect the stems. Late blight can actually affect the tubers in the ground from your plant. So I'm kind of glad that this is the blight we're fighting because I don't know much about the late blight, and I hope we don't have to deal with that later. So when that dirt splashes up and hits your plants, it'll affect them more so if they have a weakness to them. And the reason why it affected our potato plants in the ground so much was because we did not cover them and we had a frost. So that weakened the plants because it killed off a lot of the leaves. The frost really hit our crop pretty hard and we weren't expecting it or we would have covered them. Another way that the plants can be weakened is by bugs, pests, things that are eating the leaves of the plants. For an example, here is a bug on our potato plant, and as you could see, the bugs are getting to these plants and eating the leaves. I have been spraying some insecticide. Mostly everything we use in our garden is organic. That includes the fungicide and the bug sprays that we put on our plants. Here's what a healthy leaf looks like and what a leaf that has blight looks like. You can see the spots on them. They're pretty easy to identify, and you just don't want this spreading because it could kill your whole plant. So when you're identifying blight, you want to make sure you inspect the whole plant. You want to turn the leaves over. These plants may look healthy on the top, but if you flip them over, they might have blight on the underneath of their leaves. The early blight are little brown spots that quickly spread from leaf to leaf. So make sure that's what you're looking for. Late blight looks more like a plant that has been affected by frost that has a big brown spot on it. Fortunately, we don't have any plants in our garden that have late blight, and I believe that actually happens late in the year. But both of these blights thrive off of heat, they thrive off of overcrowding, and they thrive off of moisture. So we found the fungus in both our raised bed here, and we also found it in the potatoes that got the frost in our in-ground garden. We are actively working on trying to kill the fungicide in both. However, this garden bed right here is contained. It is not touching or growing in a bed with any other plants besides itself. We're more concerned about the plants that are in ground because the potatoes are growing in a giant bed with other plants like tomatoes and like peppers that could also suffer from blight. So we want to make sure that we watch those carefully, and if worst case scenario happens and we have to pull those potatoes out, we will do that, because you cannot use the seed of the potatoes once you find out if the plant has blight and it is not stopped. So what we're going to do in our garden this next season is we're going to try to combat the blight before it gets ahead of us. There's a couple of things that you can do. One way that you can help your plants become strong so that they're a little more fungus resistant is if you start them off with a high quality compost. Now this isn't the stuff that just has leaves and twigs in it. This is more of the things that it broke down in your composter, like your eggshells, your coffee grinds, your old salad, things like that. You get a nice rich compost that will help your plants become stronger. You can put that high rich compost into your garden beds or into the soil when you plant your plants. Another thing you can do is find disease resistant varieties of the plants you're planting. And one thing that I will say is it's not recommended, even though you can sprout potatoes from the potatoes you get in the store, it's not recommended to use those to start your potato plants just because they're not that seed grade variety that they really should be, that helps reduce disease. Another thing that you can do is just be observant of your plants. About a week or two after you plant them, just start checking them every day. Make sure that you just take a quick glance, walk through your garden, and see if you see any signs of blight. Because early detection means you can clip off a few leaves instead of clipping down big sections of the leaves. So that'll help your plant to stay growing, to stay healthy. And not just for blight, but for your other plants in the garden. Just come out in the garden, walk around, enjoy what you planted, watch it grow. It's really fun to do, but it's a great way to identify bugs and disease early. So just check them every day. Now that we've identified blight in our garden on our potatoes and we don't want it to spread, these are the measures that I've taken this year to stop the spread as best as I could. You want to take your mulch or your grass or whatever you're putting around your plants and kind of hill it up around the plant. So when it does rain, then it is not splashing in that dirt and splashing it up onto your plant. You don't really ever want to water a plant from above, maybe at the time of transplant, but the rest of the season it would be really good if you water them down by the roots and down by the base of the plant. And the best way to do that is with a drip irrigation system. Go to this video here so you can see how you can install a drip system in your garden. We highly recommend it. So once you see those leaves that have the blight on them, you're going to want to flip them over and see which leaves are affected, because they're not just affected on the top, they're also affected underneath the leaf as well. Then you want to either clip the leaves off or clip the actual stem off that is infected. Once you cut the infected leaves off or stems, you do not want to put these back in the soil by grinding them down at the end of the season back into your bed, and you do not want to put this debris in your compost. You want to put it in the trash pile. Once you've cut the leaves off that are infected, you can use a copper fungicide or a different kind of fungicide. What we do is we buy the Captain Jack's copper fungicide, and we buy the concentrate and we keep mixing it with water and using it in this spray bottle. Directions say to spray it about every 7 to 10 days. So you don't want to overdo it with the plants, but you want to make sure that you're spraying them not only on the top, but underneath as well, because you are trying to stop this disease from spreading to everywhere in the plant. So when we use the fungicide, we actually mix it with an organic insecticide in the same sprayer, and then you spray the plants, and this actually kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So you're not having to double spray the plant that's affected. When you cut the stems or the leaves off the plants, you want to make 1 clean cut, and then in between, you want to take some rubbing alcohol or a 10% bleach mixture and wipe down your shears before you cut the next plant. That will prevent the spread instead of cutting and having the fungus on your cutters and then cutting somewhere else and having the fungus spread to either another plant or the same plant. So another way that you can help keep fungus down in your garden is make sure that there's enough airflow in between your plants and that you're not planting your plants too close. Another way to help prevent blight is with crop rotation. You do not want to plant potatoes in this bed and then next season plant potatoes in this bed again. You need to move your crops because that helps the nutrients build back into the soil so that the next batch of crops will have a chance and be stronger plants than they would be if they were planted in the same bed that has already depleted those nutrients. And remember, these are all preventative measures, they're not cures. There are some extreme cases where you may have to dig up the whole bed and replace the dirt. We hope that we can stay on top of the blight so that that doesn't happen. I really hope you're not having to deal with blight in your garden this year, but you might be dealing with something else. There could be insects eating your plants, there could be pests eating your plants, there could be other diseases that you're battling. Put them in the comments. Let me know what's going on in your garden. And thanks for watching. Remember, come grow with us.